we've looked before at present tense, and hopefully you've looked at present perfect tense, also known as conversational past tense. We're now going to look at the simple past, or known as the narrative past tense. So, looking at the word narrative, that means it's usually in narratives, aka stories. So, this is a look at those with the regular verbs. So, with regular verbs, the things that you need to note are endings. So the simple memory trick is ta test ta, ten tet ten. I'll repeat that. Ta test ta, ten tet ten. So earlier when you look at the present tense conjugation of verbs, you might recall like E, S, T, T, yen, T, yen. Um, these are now very similar, right? So you have the ich and the yes as the same, the wir and the sie as the same. And with regular verbs, we simply go ahead and take the regular verb. So if it is kaufen, we take off the ending, which is en. We are left with the stem or base of kauf. So we could simply add the endings ich kaufte ein Buch, I bought a book. Du kauftest ein Buch, you bought a book. Er kaufte ein Buch, he bought a book. Wir kauften ein Buch, we bought a book. Ihr kauftet ein Buch, y'all bought a book. Sie kauften ein Buch, they bought a book. Or you could say, Frau Braun, kauften Sie ein Buch? Frau Braun, did you buy a book? Formal. So ta, test, ta, ten, tet, ten. So let's kind of look through the iterations here of our tenses. So from present tense, meine Lehrerin wohnt ein Jahr in Deutschland. My teacher lives a year in Germany. That's present tense, currently living. We then looked at conversational past. So she has lived or she did live. Meine Lehrerin hat ein Jahr in Deutschland gewohnt. And now what we're going to do is simply say, hey, narrative past tense. She lived a year in Germany. Meine Lehrerin wohnte ein Jahr in Deutschland. So you can kind of look at the bolds here to see what happens from tense to tense. Present tense, conversational past, has a helping verb and a past participle. And now the narrative past tense is kind of just a different take on what was the present tense before. So let's kind of watch all this in slow motion. Here we have the verb wohnen, to live or to dwell. First thing I want to do is I want to take off the ending, say bye-bye, and I'm left with this stem or base. Having the stem or base, I now need to put the appropriate ending. Ta, tes, ta, ten, tet, ten. So for the subject of the sentence, to say I lived in Dallas, we take ich, and we should add a te, and we get ich wohnte in Dallas. I lived in Dallas. Earlier you would have seen conversational past. Ich habe in Dallas gewohnt. So what happens if our base or our stem ends in those tricky T's or D's? Well, that's when we add a buffer E. Ends in a T or a D, add a buffer E. Ends in a T or a D, add a buffer E. Ends in a T or D, add a buffer E. So 3 times the charm should be ingrained in your brain. So here we have kosten, ends in a T. Die Karte kostete nur 1 Euro. The ticket cost only €1. Franz redete immer. Franz always talked. Past tense. Reden, to talk, ends in a D. So add a buffer E. So those are just kind of what's one of the exceptions to the rule you want to watch out for. Ta, 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 ten, ta, ten. So just kind of skimming through some verbs you might know that are regular. Basteln, bedienen, sich beeilen, begrüßen, besichtigen, besuchen, bezahlen, brauchen, dauern, decken, fotografieren, sich freuen auf, Entschuldigung. Äh, Glauben, holen, hören, sich interessieren für, interviewen, jubeln, kaufen, klingen, lächeln, landen, lernen, machen, mähen, meinen, packen, parken, passen, passieren, planen, regnen, reisen, sagen, sammeln, schenken, schicken, schmecken, schneien, spielen, spülen, tanzen, üben, wandern, warten, wohnen, wünschen, zeigen, and so many more. So go ahead and try your hands at these. Übung macht den Meister, practice makes perfect. Write these out as they are now currently in the present tense. Please write them in the narrative past tense. Pause this video and resume when you're ready to check your answers. Don't forget, t, test, t, ten, tet, ten, ends in a D or a T, add a buffer E. So, Nummer 1. Wir tanzten in der Disco. We danced in the disco. Ihr lerntet Deutsch. Y'all learned German. Er schickte einen Brief. He sent a letter. Heidi machte eine Handtasche. Uh, Heidi made a purse. Spielen Sie Tennis, Frau Braun? Spielten Sie Tennis, Frau Braun? Did you play? Oh, sorry, played you tennis? That sounds weird, but yeah, did you play tennis, Frau Braun? Danke.